From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Good morning to you and welcome to Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Megan Shin. It's 5 o'clock here on your Wednesday morning.
And I'm Rafael Sanchez, and these are your headlines on this January the 27th. Streaming videos and online surveys lead to the suspension of a state employee. WRTV Investigates is looking at why the state could use this case as an example.
This morning, thousands of Hoosiers are at risk of evictions. What one man is doing to save the roof over his family's head and how it could impact your family.
And a number of Hoosiers are eligible for the coronavirus vaccine, but your wait could be weeks long. So this morning, we're taking a look at ways to help get you moved up on that list. That's a story you'll want to see here. Thanks for joining us here. We've made it halfway through your work week already, Megan.
Yes, we're at that Wednesday point, Rafael. I need an extra cup of coffee today. Hopefully you have some burn
Well,
there.
listen, you guys have so much fun in that first half hour. I was just watching a few minutes ago about making the chicken bouquet. You've inspired me. The nuggets, since I'm at home, I'm going to put some nuggets in the oven, Todd Clausen. You folks are invited to come down to Johnson
County. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
Please share.
Todd, it's in the oven. What do you got in the forecast?
See you in 20, 30 minutes there, Rafael. Pop them in there and get out the barbecue sauce. All right, outside right now. It's quiet right now all across central Indiana. We have skies that are partly to mostly cloudy, but no precipitation. That is the good news for your morning commute. You need to bundle up a little bit here with temperatures that are in the 20s and 30s across the area, right at 30 in Indy, 28 in Lafayette, where the skies are a little clearer and more in the way of clouds in southern locations. And it's those of you that live in southern locations today that are going to run the risk of seeing some light accumulating snow later on this afternoon. It comes in probably after 1, 2 o'clock, and it's this storm system off to our west. Quick mover, but it will have the potential to put down maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow in spots. And we'll kind of dive into that part of the forecast in more detail. But let me get you out the door first here this morning. Temperatures in the 20s here through the noon hour. And then we only top off today right around 30 degrees. It's a chilly day for us. Those snow showers come in. They probably graze Indianapolis with maybe a coating of snow. We'll talk more about it for you coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic. If you're waking up early on this Wednesday, heading out to work, this is I-70 near State Road 9. We're taking you out to Hancock County, where traffic is moving along up to speed. Pretty quiet out that way. We'll continue to keep you updated if there are any problems for your commute. Rafael?
Lauren, WRTV Investigates looking into ghost employment and misuse of state property within the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. A report from the Office of the Inspector General found that an IDVA employee used her state-issued computer to take online surveys for money. Investigators found the employee earned nearly $300 from a company for streaming videos and completing those surveys during her state working hours. IDVA suspended the employee. The agency's director addressed the report to a Senate committee on Tuesday.
So I would say that this is an example of what we want to do. Not everybody is perfect. There are going to be issues. There will be challenges with staff. For those that have more than a few staff, things happen, and we need to be able to address them.
Now, state police policy allows for only limited personal use on state computers. The state's Ethics Commission agreed with the IDVA's decision to suspend the employee involved without pay. Megan?
Rafael, more help is on the way for people struggling to pay rent as the pandemic continues. The city of Indianapolis has received nearly $29 million in federal funds for rental assistance. A fiscal ordinance is expected to go before the City County Council for approval next Monday to deploy the money. A Central Indiana man talked with WRTV about the realities of trying to make ends meet during this COVID crisis. Derek Smith Jr. works in the sports industry. He's a father of 3 and says jobs are scarce right now, even temporary jobs.
It's just been a hard transition just to really find work in the field, because then it's like, I hear a lot of people say, well, if you don't like those options, you shouldn't have chose those jobs. But I chose this job because I love what I do. I didn't think the whole world would, literally stop.
When it comes to paying his bills, Smith says he received rental assistance through the IndyRent program. That helped temporarily, but didn't last long. He was later hit with an eviction notice. Smith says he still has a roof over his head only because of the national moratorium on evictions. Indiana is set to receive $448 million for rent and utility assistance in the latest congressional COVID package. Smith hopes that money goes to help people who really need it, and soon, Lauren.
It is 5:05, and we continue to look at the coronavirus pandemic and the impact it's having on our state this morning. State health officials report nearly 1,800 new cases of the virus, so this is the lowest number of cases in a daily report since the middle of October. That's good news. An additional 80 Hoosiers, though, have died with the virus. That's an increase from Monday's numbers. It's important to note that Tuesday reports traditionally have the highest number of deaths reported. Raphael.
Good morning to Bloomington, Greenfield, and Avon. Right now, first responders, as you know, healthcare workers and those age 70 and older can make appointments to get the COVID vaccine. As WRTV's Kelsey Anderson reports, those wait times for those appointments can take several weeks. Kelsey, good morning.
I spoke to Ronald Metcalf, and he says with a little bit of perseverance and some flexibility, he was able to get his COVID-19 vaccine 2 weeks before his scheduled appointment. He said he had to drive over an hour to get there, but every mile was worth it. Metcalf is in his 70s and tells me when the state opened up vaccinations to those in his age group, he was on the phone immediately and scheduled his appointment in Hamilton County. But he says his partner, who is under 70, wanted him to get the vaccine sooner and went to several different sites until she found him an appointment that day. They had to drive over an hour, but again, Metcalf says it's worth it knowing he can hug his family again soon.
I'm so happy to have it, and I want everybody to get their vaccine so that we can get back to normal. That is the best thing we will have in life. Never went through anything like this, and I'm anxious for it to end.
Once the vaccines are taken out of the temperature-controlled area and brought to the vaccination sites, they must be used that day. And lucky for Metcalf and his fiancée, his vaccination clinic had an extra Pfizer vaccine. So both he and his fiancée were able to get their first doses. He tells me now he and his fiancée both are scheduled to get their second dose of the Pfizer vaccine in Hamilton County. Even though she is under the age of 70, once you get that first dose, they will schedule you for your second dose to make sure none of it goes to waste. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
A lot of good information there, Kelsey. Thank you. If you're not in that current vaccine group that Kelsey just talked about, there are ways to get in line. The easiest way is to volunteer at a vaccine clinic. Now, it's not guaranteed you'll get a vaccine, but if you're there and there are extras at the end of the day, you could get that spare dose. Hoosiers did have the opportunity to get on a call list at Deaconess Hospital in Evansville. Those 68 and above could sign up to get leftover doses in their county. But that list has been put on pause. We'll let you know if and when it reopens. Megan?
Raphael, this morning, firefighters in Fishers are being used for more than battling flames. These firefighters are administering vaccines at the city's assisted living facilities now. Department officials estimate they will administer 300 doses of the vaccine. Also, the firefighters will deliver vaccines to residents who are medically homebound. Residents can let the city know they're medically homebound by going online and filling out the city's vaccine interest survey.
Well, a Johnson County organization needs your help to keep Hoosiers on their feet. An organization called Kick It focuses on offering services to residents who are experiencing homelessness during this pandemic. WRTV's own Troy Washington joins us live this morning to explain how the nonprofit is helping some Hoosiers in a big way. Troy, good morning.
Good morning. Now, this organization is working to help Hoosiers keep their livelihood. Now, it's no secret that a lot of families are struggling right now when we look at unemployment and transportation. So Kick It is stepping in. They're trying to help a young mother of 6 get rolling towards her job.
On the south side of Indianapolis, we don't have a lot of public transportation. Having public transportation to get to jobs that have abilities for higher pay and additional skill sets is very difficult. And so we are trying to help this mom.
If you can help that mom out by gifting her a car or making sure that she's able to get that donation, Kick It wants to hear from you. Now, Kick It helps out with a lot of different things. They even help out with money management and simple things like a shower. Reporting live downtown, I'm Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you so much. In October of 2018, 3 children died while attempting to get on their Fulton County school bus. Now, nearly 2 years since their deaths, state lawmakers are trying to figure out how to change laws to prevent similar crashes from happening again. This week, a Senate committee passed a bill holding people accountable if their vehicle drives past a school bus stop arm. The bill gives the vehicle's owner a $1,000 fine for passing a stop arm, even if they're not the one driving. You can read more about this bill by downloading right now the WRTV app and clicking on this story. On this Wednesday, time to check your forecast, whether you're heading out to work or maybe to that school stop later this morning. Todd, how's it looking out there?
You know, it's just fine here this morning as far as any precipitation goes, Raphael. It's completely dry out there. Temperatures are chilly, but it is the end of January, so nothing really normal. We're in the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees. For some of you, as you come home from school, there could be some minor issues out there on the roadways as we'll start to get into a little bit of light snow today. It's only southern locations, though, that mainly have the potential for this light snow. The storm system is off to our west, and it's basically just going to make its way eastwards. I-70 southward is where we have the potential for some snow accumulation throughout the day today. To the north, you can see a few flurries, but that'll be just about it. Less than an inch from Indy down towards the Bloomington and I would say Edinburgh and Columbus area. Once you get to Bloomington, Columbus, Greensburg, and south, the potential is there for about 1 to 2 inches of snow accumulation, and maybe even up to 3 inches as you get closer to the Ohio River, where winter weather advisories are posted. So not everybody sees the snow today, but for those of you in southern locations, we'll detail it for you coming up in Maine Weather in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Big changes are now in effect for the Department of Justice. Coming up, what the new orders mean for families at the border crossing.
Plus, the mayor of Hinchtown has a full-time ride. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Coming up, the future for one of Indy's favorite drivers right here on WRTV.
The car you want, the way you want.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The Justice Department has formally dropped the Trump administration's controversial zero-tolerance policy for illegal immigrants. The Trump policy called for the criminal prosecution of adults illegally crossing at the border. The policy resulted in the separation, as you may recall, of thousands of children from their families and was ended by former President Trump in 2018 after much controversy. Now, the action by the Justice Department rescinds the policy entirely, effective immediately. Prosecutors can now use their own judgment to determine if any criminal charges apply to an individual immigrant.
Raphael, the poverty rate in America surged at the end of last year. It happened at the fastest rate in more than 50 years. Economists say the poverty rate increased 2.4% at the end of 2020 due to the continued impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, economists say 8 million more people live in poverty, and the report shows a poverty rate of just under 12%. While that is down from a decade ago, it is still higher than pre-pandemic levels, Lauren.
Megan, it is 5:16 this morning. There's a sign of optimism for the air travel industry. Delta says it will return 400 pilots this summer to full active status. The airline's senior vice president of operations says the company is optimistic that travel demand will go up as more people get their COVID vaccine. Company officials say the plan is well ahead of the company's original estimate. Delta declined to comment about the future flight capacity or schedule planning. Raphael.
So, Todd, listen up. Lauren and Megan, also you can listen up. Before you head on a plane down to Florida, consider this. This is key information. It's going to save your lives and not ruin your vacation. Last year, the nation reported 33 unprovoked shark attacks, which is 58% of the world's total. Half of those incidents happened in Florida. 3 people in the United States died last year after being bitten by sharks. Experts say the number of attacks has been declining for years, but the drop was steeper than expected last year, which researchers say may be related to COVID restrictions. So, Todd, the moral of the story: enjoy the sand, enjoy the surf, stay out of the teeth of sharks.
Always a good idea to stay ahead of the grasp of jaws. There's no doubt about that. All right, outside right now, we are dealing with pretty quiet conditions, Raphael, and everybody, as you walk out the door and start this Wednesday morning off. It's chilly, but we just have mostly cloudy skies, although the clouds starting to break apart in some northern locations. For those of you in southern locations, we will get into some snow showers here as we work our way in the afternoon and evening hours with some minor accumulation. So if you live in southern areas or your travels here for work or pleasure take you into southern Indiana as we get into the afternoon hours, just know that you are going to run into a little bit of light snow. More on that coming up in just a second. Right now, 32 in Bloomington, 29 in Greenfield. Richmond sitting at 26 degrees, and temperatures here will continue to go down another couple degrees this morning before we slowly start to climb. But today is one of those days, once again, where our temperatures just aren't really going to warm a whole lot throughout the day. That's even with some sunshine, I think, today in northern locations. And you can see some of this cloud cover already starting to break apart compared to southern locations where we have lots of clouds in place. But this is a storm system that's going to start to spread that light snow in our direction as we work our way into the afternoon hours. Highs today will only be in the upper 20s in northern locations, Frankfort to Logansport to Kokomo, 29 in Anderson, right around 30 degrees in Indianapolis for your high today, 33 in Shelbyville, and 34 as we work our way into the Seymour area. Now, the snow is going to come in mid-afternoon, and it could even start late morning in Terre Haute as well as Sullivan. There's a pretty sharp cutoff with the significant accumulation and virtually just some snow showers. This light accumulation, or what you see on TrueCast here, the light whites, that's not a whole lot in the way of heavier snow. But these darker shades, that's where we could get into about 1 to 2 inches of snow. But it's really quick hitting, so it's in and it's out. So that's why snowfall totals won't really be all that high. But this evening, if you do have those plans again to travel here in southern locations, it could get a little slick in spots. We're looking at under a half an inch, or under an inch rather, from Indianapolis back along I-70. And as you work your way southward, once you get to Bloomington to Columbus, you're probably in that 1 to 2 inch range. Once you get south of a line from Bedford over into the Seymour area and down towards the Ohio River, that's where we could see about 2 to maybe 3 inches of snow. So the snowfall totals increase as you work your way southward. Later on this afternoon, they decrease in northern locations. Finally, Thursday and Friday, some quiet weather with a decent amount of sunshine. Temperatures still in the 30s. And then another sloppy storm system heads our way Saturday into Sunday with a rain-snow mixture. Ending on Monday as some snow showers, Megan, across the area.
Thanks, Todd. A good time to heat up the fireplace. Thank you. Well, there's new information about the health of Pacers' newest player, Caris LeVert. The team announced LeVert had surgery to treat a cancerous mass in his kidney, renal cell carcinoma. Pacers officially say the surgery was successful and the team's new guard is expected to make a full recovery. LeVert came to the Pacers from the Brooklyn Nets as part of a 4-team trade, sending Victor Oladipo to Houston. Before the trade was finalized, a set of physical and medical tests revealed the mass. And the team says LeVert will be out indefinitely and no further treatment is needed.
Great news this morning. One of the most popular IndyCar drivers has a full-time ride once again. This is some good stuff. Andretti Autosports announcing that James Hinchcliffe will be back in the number 29 Honda. This will be his 11th year competing in the IndyCar Series and his 5th with Andretti. Andretti will also field full-season cars for Colton Herta, Ryan Hunter-Reay, and Alexander Rossi. Marco Andretti has so far only announced the Indy 500 on his IndyCar schedule. The season kicks off on April the 18th at the Barber Motorsports Park near Birmingham, Alabama. Lauren?
Well, Raphael, whether you love them or you hate them, Peeps, they're back. Coming up when you can find these deliciously dividing treats on your store shelves. It's 5:22. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. So Megan, when you get me that Easter basket this year, the one thing I don't want in my Easter basket, and I will pay you not to put it in my basket, are Peeps. I know they're coming back for Easter, but I don't want to see one.
Don't
Sorry,
worry, we'll
that's
skip
just my
them.
thing.
It's okay. It's a very dividing issue, Raphael. And Just Boring manufactures a sticky marshmallow treat. In case you didn't know, the company temporarily suspended production of its candy brands to protect its plant workers from the coronavirus. After implementing safety measures, it resumed limited production back in May, but it did not produce seasonal candies to meet the demand for Easter. However, the brand tweeted on Monday, "We are back and ready for Easter." Now, some specialty peeps have been spotted physically in stores and also online. They included hot tamales and party cake peeps, very interesting flavors. And I know I'm not a huge fan, Raphael, so I'll skip them for myself as well. But our producer Elizabeth likes them like a day or two after.
She loves them.
Yeah.
She loves them.
You know what's worse than a yellow peep?
What?
A pink peep, a red peep, and a blue peep that we just saw there.
Oh, so much sugar.
Megan asked me if I like them. I mean, I'll eat them. I mean, I'm not opposed to them, but they're definitely...
You'll eat anything.
That's
You'll
true.
eat anything.
That's
what are
true.
you talking about?
They're not my go-to, put it that way. Way too much sugar. But hey, to each their own, right? That's what I say.
Yes.
Outside right now, we're dealing with chilly temperatures. We're hovering in the upper 20s to low 30s, and that's really where we stay throughout the morning hours. Temperatures won't do much today, going in an upward direction, and we only get up to right around 31 to 32 degrees for your high temperature with mostly cloudy skies. Now you see those snow icons there at 4 or 5 o'clock and even potentially 6 o'clock. There will be some light snow that'll move through the southern half of the state. We're talking mainly I-70 to the south. There are some winter weather advisories out there. There are some areas that have the potential for a couple inches of snow. We'll detail those for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Download today. From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now at 5:30, Marion County prosecutors seeking the highest punishment for the man charged in the death of IMPD officer Breanne Leaf. How her family is reacting to the call for the death penalty.
And the push continues this morning for more Hoosiers to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Our Kelsey Anderson shows us how you can make sure you get the shot and move yourself up in the line.
Here at 5:31, want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana on this Wednesday. We're halfway through our work week, so we got to get a check of that forecast. Todd, what can folks expect today?
You know, it's pretty quiet this morning. This afternoon, we'll run into the potential of a little bit of light snow in the forecast for some of you. Not everybody is going to see the snow. Temperatures this morning sitting generally right around 30 degrees on average. We're right at 30 in Indy, 2 degrees above. In Bloomington, 2 degrees below that 30-degree mark. In Lafayette, where you sit at 28 degrees this morning. And the clouds trying to break apart a little bit here north of I-70. So it's not out of the question this morning that you'll see a little bit of sunshine, thicker clouds in place down to the south. And it's in southern locations where we'll have the potential for some of the accumulating snow as this weaker storm system makes its way towards us. It's not a huge, big area of low pressure that's going to bring some hefty totals. It's more of a clipper system, except it's not originating up in Canada, but it's going to make its way through the area pretty quickly this afternoon. This morning, you're just fine, no issues at all, but then we'll get into those afternoon snow showers in southern locations. We're talking about maybe the potential for an inch or two of snow in some spots. More on that with specific totals for you, Lauren, coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at your commute if you're heading out on the roads this morning. Over on the east side, this is a look at I-70, a view near Arlington Avenue. Traffic's moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. Raphael, no problems on the roads right now for folks heading out to work.
Lauren, we begin right now with a developing story. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office announcing that it's seeking the death penalty against the man charged with killing IMPD officer Breanne Leaf. Elias Dorsey is accused of shooting and killing Officer Leaf on April the 9th, 2020. Police say that he fired shots through a door, striking Leaf as officers responded to a disturbance call. Leaf's mother spoke to me about the death penalty announcement and why she favors it.
Breanne deserves justice. I mean, she lost her life. And so I feel like, without trying to sound like a horrible person, he should have to give his.
According to court documents, the aggravating circumstance for seeking the death penalty is that Officer Leith was acting in the course of her duty as a law enforcement officer when the shooting happened. A pre-trial conference is now scheduled for April the 20th, coming up at 6:30 right here on Good Morning Indiana. We'll hear from Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears about how long this process may take. Megan?
Raphael, thank you. And this week marks 10 years since the death of IMPD officer David Moore. During a traffic stop on January 23, 2011, Moore was shot by a suspect 4 times. He fell into a coma and was eventually taken off of life support 3 days later. Moore was an organ donor and helped save several lives. Lance Lewis received Officer Moore's lungs, and he was there when IMPD family and friends held a memorial ceremony for Moore.
I didn't know David, obviously, but in talking with Carol and Joe and Spencer and other folks, I know that he loved his job. He loved his community. And he loved to serve the people of his community. And I would submit to you that through his gift of organ donation to myself, another lady here in the state and others out of state, that he is still serving his community.
And still remembered. Moore was 29 years old. He received the department's Medal of Honor and Purple Heart after his death. As part of his plea bargain, the man who pleaded guilty to shooting Moore is spending life in prison without parole, Lauren.
The time right now, Megan, is 5:35. Let's go to the latest on COVID-19. The state health department is reporting the number of new cases has fallen below 2,000 for the first time in a month. 1,777 new cases were reported in Indiana, bringing the state's total number of cases since the start of the pandemic to nearly 615,000. 80 more Hoosiers have also died with the virus. Now, some of those cases date back to as far as late November. Indiana's death toll is now standing at 9,432. We will learn more about the spread and the state's next steps in the governor's press conference set for this afternoon. As always, you can stream it live at 2:30 on the WRTV News app and at WRTV.com. Raphael.
So, Lauren, this is a limited list, right? Right now, first responders, healthcare workers, those age 70 and older can get the vaccine, but the wait times for getting on the vaccine and getting that appointment sometimes, Megan, can take a long time.
That's right, Ralph. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us now with ways you can move yourself up in the line.
I spoke to Ronald Metcalf, and he says with a little perseverance, flexibility, and the willingness to drive, he was able to get his first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine weeks before his scheduled appointment. Metcalf is in his 70s and tells me when the state opened up vaccinations to those in his age group, he was on the phone immediately and scheduled his appointment in Hamilton County. But he says his partner, who is under 70, wanted him to get the vaccine sooner and went to several different sites until she found him an appointment that day.
You would think the database would be set up to research anything within 50 miles or 75 miles, and that wasn't our experience. You had to go site by site, and perseverance happens. We were thinking Greensburg, that's kind of far away for us. But when we found out there was a dose available, it was a no-brainer for us. We were going to get that dose.
Metcalf said that the drive was worth it, knowing soon he can hug his family once again. And once the vaccines are taken out of the temperature-controlled area and brought to the vaccination sites, they must be used that day. And lucky for Metcalf and his fiance, his vaccination clinic had an extra Pfizer vaccine, so both he and his fiance were able to get their first dose. He tells me now he and his fiance both are scheduled to get their second dose of the Pfizer vaccine in Hamilton County. Even though she is under the age of 70, once you get that first dose, they will schedule you for your second dose to make sure none of it goes to waste. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. If you're not in the current groups that are able to make vaccine appointments, there are a few ways you can get in line and get those leftover vaccines at the end of the day. The easiest way to do that is to volunteer at a vaccine clinic. Now it's not guaranteed you'll get a vaccine, but if there are extras at the end of the day, you could get a spare dose. And Hoosiers did have the opportunity to get an on-call list at Deaconess Hospital in Evansville. Those 60 and older could sign up to get leftover doses in their county. But as of right now, the call list has been put on pause. We will let you know if and when it reopens, Lauren.
All right, Megan. Well, President Biden taking some big steps to increase COVID-19 vaccinations. He announced that the U.S. is increasing vaccine supply. They're now buying 200 million more doses. Half will be Pfizer, half will be Moderna. In his press conference, President Biden said that the supply would raise state weekly distributions from 8.6 million to a minimum of 10 million doses. So far, nearly 450,000 Hoosiers have received their first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. Raphael.
A Johnson County organization has been working overtime during this pandemic to help those dealing with homelessness. Our Troy Washington is live to explain the non-for-profit's latest venture. And Troy, I just happened to have danced for this organization during one of their fundraisers. Kick It does an amazing job here in Johnson County.
Good morning, Raphael. And I'm not surprised to hear that you're very involved with this organization because they do a lot of good in the community. Now, speaking of that good, they're currently looking to help a young mother of 6 get back and forth to work. So they're looking for someone to maybe donate a vehicle. And now this family is not the only family struggling between unemployment to just transportation. There are a lot of families in need right now.
Our clients could be like our mother of 6 kids, trying to overcome challenges of the past to be successful. People that have lost their jobs. It's really hit our middle class.
The organization is looking to help with money management for these families and things as simple as even allowing them to take a shower. Now, if you don't have a car to donate, that is okay. They're accepting all donations, big and small. Reporting live downtown, I'm Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you. Good news for Pacers fans. The team is welcoming more fans into Bankers Life Fieldhouse. For last Sunday's home game, approximately 1,000 fans were allowed in the stands, but now they can safely increase that to 25% capacity, or about 4,500 people. The team also tweeted they will start selling balcony level seating beginning this Sunday. And seating is socially distanced. Fans are asked to complete a health screening and masks are required, Todd, if you want to go.
All right, good to see some fans getting back there in Bankers Life Fieldhouse to cheer on the home team. Outside right now, it's quiet as you start your Wednesday morning drive, and as you head to work or running some errands here this morning, if you're not heading into the office, it's just mostly cloudy with a temperature right around 27 degrees. Coming home, some of you are going to be dealing with some light accumulating snow, and it's those of you from Indianapolis to the south that'll be dealing with this snow. You see the storm system off to our west. It's a quick mover. It's starting to get a little more organized across the area, and it'll quickly make its way through the southern half of the state during the afternoon hours. So if you are running some errands this afternoon, the kids are coming home from school, you're coming home from work, just know there is the potential for some snow showers to the north along I-70, generally an inch or less of snow. I think probably if I had to pinpoint a number here in the metro area, it's about a half an inch. But once you get south of the line from Bloomington over towards the Seymour and Columbus area, you're looking at about 1 to 2 inches of potential accumulation. We'll time it out for you hour by hour using TrueCast coming up in Maine weather in just a couple minutes.
Todd, thank you so much. After being cut short, enrollment for the Affordable Care Act could reopen this week. Coming up, what we know about the president's latest move on health care.
And working for you this week is National Media Literacy Week. So still ahead, I'm going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how news stories here at WRTV go from ideas to what you see on air. It is 5:42. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Quaker Oats.
Welcome back. The time right now is 5:45. An inmate who escaped from the Hancock County Jail earlier this month, Raphael, is now back in custody.
According to the Hancock County Sheriff's Office, 22-year-old Tyrell White was arrested in Marion County on Tuesday. State police troopers located him in the area of 30th and Graham Avenue. White has since been returned to the Hancock County Jail. He's now also facing a level 5 charge, a felony for escaping. According to deputies, he ran away January the 10th while taking out the trash behind the county jail.
Rafael, President Biden is expected to reopen enrollment for the Affordable Care Act tomorrow as part of a series of executive actions on health care. It comes at a time when more Americans could be facing a loss of health coverage because of the pandemic-related turmoil that we're seeing. And the Trump administration cut open enrollment in half to just 6 weeks. It ended on December 15th, but Biden has the power to open it back up. Time now is 5:46, and Todd, I might want to start my fireplace up because it's going to be chilly.
If you have one, not a bad thing to do here throughout the course of the day today or even in the coming days, as this overall weather pattern is remaining very active. We have a weak storm system today, but a stronger storm system is heading our way once again for the weekend. This morning, though, as you get going to start off your Wednesday, you're just fine anywhere you are across central Indiana. The skies are in the process of trying to clear out just a little bit. 20s and 30s right now are the temperatures across the area. 28 in Crawfordsville and Greenfield, 30 in Indy, 32 is the current temperature in Bloomington. Temperatures today really won't move a whole lot. We'll stay within a couple degrees of each other from start to finish throughout the day today, with some peaks of sunshine at times, but overall it's a mostly cloudy day. And then we get into the evening hours, and that's when we are going to start to bring in the potential for some snow across parts of the area. There are the breaks in the clouds that are starting to take place in northern locations. To the south, I think you're probably stuck with the clouds throughout much of the day. There's our storm system that is going to be quickly moving through the area. That's the good news. It's in and it's out, and so that's why we're talking about snowfall totals that are only going to potentially be around 1 to 2 inches in those southern areas. If this was a slower moving storm system, those numbers would be a little bit higher. Right above my head there, that's the timestamp, and you can see as we work our way into the early afternoon hours, starting to deal with a little precipitation on the western side of the state. By the time we 4 o'clock hour, the kids in the process of coming home from school, you're starting to wind down your workday, especially in these darker shaded areas of the bluish gray. That's where we have the potential for the best accumulation. You notice as you work your way up, the color scale gets a little bit lighter, and this is just some light snow shower activity north of I-70. That's good news for you in northern locations. And by 8, 9 o'clock tonight, most of that snow is winding down, and then we'll clear out overnight tonight. It's not a big snow maker, but it is enough to cause some spots on the roadways. We're talking on a half an inch along I-70, a quick little coating in spots north of I-70. But from Bloomington to Columbus, you're probably in that 1 to 2 inch range of snow. Once you get to Bedford and Seymour, and then points to the south, probably 2 to maybe 3 inches of snow as you work closer to the Ohio River. And that's where you find the winter weather advisory as you work your way into southern Indiana. It does not technically include any of the counties in our viewing area here in Indianapolis, but Bloomington and Nashville over to Columbus, Seymour, Bedford, you will likely get some snow here later on this afternoon, so just kind of plan ahead if you have travel plans later today. Overnight tonight, teens to right around 20 degrees. As you wake up on Thursday morning, the good news is Thursday we get the sunshine back. It's a brighter day. It's still not the warmest of days, as temperatures will be holding generally right around 31 to 32 degrees. As we look ahead, Friday still mostly sunny, a nice day. And then it just honestly, it gets pretty sloppy here Saturday night and throughout the day on Sunday as a larger storm system heads our way. And just depending on the timing, it'll start off maybe as some snow, wintry mix, and then Sunday as we get up to 39 degrees, it goes over to rain. And we'll have to fine tune it with the track. It's probably a storm system very similar to what we went through Monday of this week when we had all those forms of precipitation. So we'll fine tune that for you. But again, our immediate concern, Megan and Lauren, is going to be a little bit of light snow in those southern locations here this afternoon.
Definitely take it easy on the roads. Thank you, Todd. And working for you this week is National Media Literacy Week, and we aren't talking about literacy as in reading the news, Lauren.
That's right, Megan. We're talking about understanding how the news is reported so that you can be a smart consumer of media. So we here at WRTV, we always strive to be transparent and open with you. So I want to take you behind the scenes of how we put together a story for TV.
WRTV talked with Bruce Lech right before he got his COVID-19 vaccine here at Aspen Trace.
You see the final product on your screen or social media feed. A news report like this one our Troy Washington put together about nursing home residents getting vaccinated.
In 28 days, residents will get their second dose of the shot.
It's our final product for you, the consumer, like a gift with a ribbon on it. But let's unpack this and go back. Rewind all the way to the beginning of our workday. Our team collects story ideas from a number of places, our communities.
This is my work from home setup here in Fishers, Indiana.
Social media scrolling, sometimes tips from you.
At least 2 a week of people that just drive off the road.
We see your posts, read your emails.
Indianapolis DPW tells WRTV that in the past 3 years, 15 collisions have occurred at the intersection.
But no matter where the ideas come from, they eventually land here.
Maybe they do have some numbers. When these big sporting events come in, right? What is the ripple effect?
Prior to the pandemic, this conference room was filled every day with people and story ideas. We've since moved those meetings to Zoom.
Just what they're seeing, how they've persevered through the pandemic.
We work as a team, sharing story ideas.
I have a Zoom interview with her today.
Resources. Figuring out the most effective way to share this news in a way that best serves you. And then once we agree on the stories for the day or the week ahead, we get down to business.
For many people, when they're thinking about retiring, they have that date in mind and circled on their calendar.
Making calls, conducting interviews.
You sometimes feel just like overwhelmed with the amount of information.
Yeah, for sure.
Shooting video. Sometimes our crew in the field includes a photographer and a reporter. But sometimes we work alone.
3, 2, and 1.
Writing and editing and writing some more. And when the story's ready for air, our team of producers, editors, managers, they give it another set of eyes and place it in the shows that you then see at home.
So the most important thing here is that we are here to serve you. We need your ideas, questions, and feedback always. You can easily connect with us by sending any of us a message on social media. You can also email us at news@WRTV.com. And if you want us to help tell your stories, here's some things that we may ask from you. What problem are you facing? Who have you contacted to get it resolved? Or what steps have you already taken before we try and jump in? Who's impacted? Is this just you, or could a lot of people be facing a similar problem? Plus, of course, here on Good Morning Indiana, we love sharing your good news and highlighting positive things happening in our communities. So send us those things that are happening in your own neighborhoods. It is 5:53. We'll be right back after this short break.
Never rests.
All right, and welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 5:56. It's a quiet start to our day. Temperatures, they're chilly, obviously in the 20s and 30s, but honestly not too bad for the end of January. Hard to believe, right? January 27th. Radar is quiet right now. That changes, though, as we head into the evening hours, as snow showers will be making their way into the area. So it's a quiet morning. Our high gets up to about 31 degrees. Look for those snow showers to move in, but they're mainly south of Indianapolis. I think the metro area sees a few snow showers, but the accumulating snow will be across parts of Bloomington, Columbus, and Seymour. More on that coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. Raphael.
It's more than just a bright idea. It's setting the table for jobs in high demand, and these young people are doing all the work. I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story coming up on Good Morning Indiana.